Cooper signing on in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the Great Plains Radio Theater Project is on the air. From the Rockland Conference Center on the campus of Western Iowa Tech Community College in Sioux City, Iowa, the Great Plains Radio Theater Project brings you 3 chilling mysteries for the Halloween season. First, a suspense-filled tale entitled Calling All Souls finds an innocent man sentenced to die in the Iowa State Prison. Will he get a pardon? Next, the classic radio mystery, The Hitchhiker, finds a man traveling by car from New York City to Los Angeles and is taunted by a hitchhiker. The suspenseful ending will tell the tale. And finally, after our station break, Don't Tell Me About Halloween is a tongue-in-cheek story about a man who is married to a witch and he wants out of the marriage. How will this story end? We bring you our first drama, but first, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsor.
2 beans times 2 beans makes 4 beans. Nescafe uses much more beans. 10 beans times 4 beans and add 3 more beans make 43 rich coffee beans. Yes, you get 43 beans in every cup of Nescafe real coffee beans. That's all there is in Nescafe. 43 beans in every cup make Nescafe the all-coffee instant coffee with the let's have another cup taste.
Extra beans means extra flavor. Today's Nescafe goes all the way with flavor with 43 choice beans in every cup. So be sure to always keep a 12-ounce jar of Nescafe instant coffee in your kitchen cupboard so you can enjoy a delicious hot cup of Nescafe instant coffee.
Yes, you get 43 beans in every cup of Nescafe real coffee beans. That's all there is in Nescafe. 43 beans in every cup make Nescafe the all-coffee instant coffee with the let's have another cup taste. I am beautiful, you'll see. Wouldn't you like to be rich and wise and happy and live forever? Wouldn't you, Craig?
Who the devil are you?
Why, that's a very apt way of putting it, Craig.
Who are you?
I'm Candace.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I'm the witch they didn't hang, Craig.
Well, she was right. I am rich. Whenever I need money, which hasn't been for a long time now, I ask Candace when she comes to see me at Halloween time. I am reasonably wise, I suppose. I'm quite an authority on American history, quite well considered at the university here. And while I can't say I've lived forever, I have lived 253 years. Yeah, that's right. You see, I met Candace on the hill above Salem in the year 1694. 2 years after Cotton Mather stopped hanging witches. Yes, Candace has kept her promise. I remember the way she put it, standing up there in the early morning, watching the mists crawling along the ground below us.
You'll not see me now till another Halloween, and I can't tell you what form I'll be in when I come to see you again, but if you see a strange bird or a lost dog or any strange being at your door come Halloween, you say, "Who's that?" And if it so happens that stranger's me, why, then I'll be home with you till the cock crows for morning.
And I remember I started to speak, to ask questions, but she stopped me.
For the time's short now, my love, and remember the words, and we've all the future before us. As long as I live, you shall live.
And below us somewhere a rooster crowed. And I was standing alone on the hill, and a yellow butterfly was rising in circles above my head. I watched it disappear into the first rays of the sun. No, I didn't believe it either. And yet we were only 2 years away from the witchcraft trials, and whatever may be said today, the belief in witches didn't die as quick a death as modern historians would have you believe. I was there. I know. Besides, I had married a witch. Halloween 1695. A stray dog lay on my doorstep shivering in the rain. I don't like dogs. I was about to boot the animal into the street when I caught a look in its eyes. I yelled, "Who's that?"
Well, it's about time. I've been lying there on that doorstep, freezing and nearly drowned without a stitch on, and you stand there and look at me like some great fool. Give me something to put around me and stir up the fire before I catch my death of cold. And I do believe you were going to kick me, too. What did I ever see in you?
Candace, dear, how was I to know?
Give me that quilt!
Ouch. Oh, she was all contriteness and apologies in a moment. But I can feel that slap alongside my chops from 2.5 centuries ago. And our first anniversary was a very pleasant one. I was rather glad I'd married a witch. It had its drawbacks, though. Despite wealth and growing wisdom, people around me in Salem grew old, and I seemed to stay the same age. I moved away and the years went on. I moved away from Salem, and I moved away from Philadelphia, and I moved from Baltimore and Richmond, Savannah, and a score of other places. I spoke to George Washington, and I watched Robert Fulton's steamboat chug up the Hudson when I was more than 100 years old, and looked 35. And every Halloween I welcomed Candace home for a night. 1 year in a farmhouse on an Illinois prairie, a red fox whined at my door. And it was Candace. 1 year, a blue jay flew down from a tree in Missouri. And another year, she came as a skittering little gray field mouse. And the year I came back to Wisconsin after the Civil War, a porcupine gnawed its way into my cabin on Halloween night, and one of its quills spiked me before I thought to say, "Who's that?" And when Candace smiled at me, there was only a strand of yellow hair through the thick of my thumb. I remember she pulled it out, and it hurt. Years and years and years. Ah, she's been a wonderful wife, but I never forget what she is. Once a year is getting to be enough. It was just 67 years ago tonight, before Halloween, you see. That was the first time she appeared before Halloween, 1880. Rutherford B. Hayes was still president then. Seems like yesterday. I heard something bumping against the front door, and before I thought, I called out, "Who's that?"
I thought you were never going to call.
Darling, I didn't know it was you.
Well?
Huh?
Don't people kiss their wives anymore?
Darling, you surprised me.
Suppose you surprise me. Now.
How come you're so early, dear?
Oh, I just thought it would be nice to surprise you.
You certainly did surprise me.
Did I?
You certainly did.
What's happened since last year?
Why, nothing much.
That's so.
What have you been doing?
I've been away.
Where?
Craig, you'll be better off if you don't inquire too closely into my private affairs. Being married to a witch ought to be enough for you.
I'm just interested, Candace.
Like I'm interested in what you do when I'm away.
What?
I am interested, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
You don't?
No.
Don't you ever get lonely while I'm away?
What? Oh, why, certainly. What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, Craig.
I don't either.
You're forgetting that I'm a witch, dear?
What?
You can't keep anything from me, Craig. Don't you know that?
Why,
Oh, I won't punish you, Craig. But you mustn't run around with red-haired girls.
Why, I don't know what you're
Oh, yes, you do. So I just decided to take that temptation away from you.
Candace, what did you...
Look over there at the window, darling.
And I looked, and peering in the window out of the darkness was a frightened, tiny red squirrel, its teeth chattering with terror and cold.
She's still got her red hair, dear.
Candace, did you do that to her?
Of course, dear. No, don't try to rescue her, Craig. I've got other plans for your little girlfriend.
What are you going to...
Listen. Now come here and kiss me. Good.
Yes, in some ways it's fine. In some ways. You know, in the last 50, 60 years, I've gotten so I'm afraid to say, "Who's that?" anytime. Wait a second. Did you hear anything? No, I guess she's not here. I wouldn't want her to surprise me again. I want to surprise her. It's 67 years ago that she set the wolves on that poor little red squirrel that was once Marjorie. I've forgotten her last name. But I haven't forgotten what she did to me. They arrested me for murder. Candace let me stay in jail a whole year. I waited till the next Halloween, 1881, till a little screech owl came and perched on the window ledge of my cell. Even then, it took me half an hour to remember to say, "Who's that?" Sure, she was very sorry, she said. Very sorry. But I had to be punished for being unfaithful to her. Unfaithful? I never even kissed Marjorie. That witch. Believe me, I was pretty careful after I got out of there and moved to Oklahoma. If I had any female acquaintances, I stopped seeing them along in early September. But darn it, how would you like it if you only saw your wife once a year? And you knew that she could turn you into a caterpillar or a hippopotamus or something whenever she got miffed with you. You'd look around too, just like I did. She nearly caught me again in Washington, D.C. That was in 1910. I'd been a good boy for nearly 50 years. Well, pretty good. At least, careful. I was standing outside the door of the Willard Hotel that Halloween night, and a big moth dropped out of the darkness and lit on my shoulder. Candace likes to be a moth, I think. She's appeared that way 15, 20 times. Well, I knew at once what it was. My conscience was reasonably clear, so I just said, "Who's that?"
Hello, darling.
Welcome back, Candace, dear.
Been a good boy?
Perfect, darling.
Love Candace?
Mad about Candace.
You better be.
Now, Candace.
You living here now? In the hotel?
I hope you like it.
I've never been in Washington before.
Well, we'll go sightseeing tomorrow.
Oh, I saw quite a lot of it flying in.
Yes?
Who's that woman?
What woman?
Why, Craig, darling. Where on earth have you been?
Yes, I thought Gertrude was in Chicago where I'd left her. Wasn't that just my luck? I don't know what Candace did to her. She just disappeared. But you know what that witch did to me? She turned me into a fire alarm box. Don't laugh, it isn't funny. From October 31st, 1910 to October 31st, 1911, I stood there in front of the Willard Hotel, rain and shine, snow and boiling hot weather. And nobody even turned in an alarm on me. Of course, they did paint me in the spring. Then at 11:30 on Halloween, a little black dog came by. I tried to say, "Who's that?" And I made it all right because I could hear gears clicking and wheels turning, and there we were. Candace in a black fur coat, me in a blue serge suit, all plastered with red paint.
normal, Craig.
Well, how do you think I feel? Oh, my feet.
Well, now, maybe you won't be chasing other women, my dear.
Candace, I promise I'll never do it again.
You better not, sweetheart. I'm a very jealous woman.
So I noticed.
And if you think that was bad, how would you like me to...
No, Candace, please, no, don't tell me.
You may kiss me now.
Oh.
And don't get paint all over my coat.
Candace can be very sweet when she wants to be. But these last 30 years, she doesn't seem to want to be very much. She spends most of the time she's here asking me questions about what I've been doing, where I've been, the people I've seen. Well, friend, I'm getting awful tired of it. 253 years is a long time. A long, long time with a jealous wife. So, I'm gonna get rid of her. This time I'm done. No, I don't love Candace anymore. I'm afraid of her. I told you I got this job here at the university in the history department. I've got this little cottage up here in the hills where I go every Halloween. Well, I don't want Candace barging in on Faculty Row. You see, I'm not supposed to be married here. You know how that is. So I decided to end it all this year. I'm gonna kill Candace. That is, I hope I am. When she appears, I'm not gonna say, who's that? And then Alicia and I are gonna be married. Oh, I didn't tell you about Alicia. Here's Alicia now. I'd like to have you meet her.
How do you do?
Alicia and I are gonna be married.
Yes, indeed, right after Halloween.
Alicia's secretary to the Dean of Women.
That's how we met.
Why, I hope you don't mean to imply I was flirting with the Dean, Alicia.
Goodness, no, dear. I mean, you were being introduced to her when we first saw each other.
I'll never forget.
Oh, I won't either.
Isn't she pretty?
Oh, Craig, you mustn't talk like that to strangers.
Well, I'm sorry, dear, but you are pretty.
Oh, but I'm so much younger than you are, Craig.
Well, you are a little younger, dear, but that won't make any difference, will it?
Not to me, darling.
Excuse us a second.
You darling.
Darling, I love you. Kiss me.
Oh, but they're looking, sweetheart.
Shut your eyes a second, will you, please? Now, darling.
Oh, Craig, dear.
You like her? She's quite a girl, isn't she? Nothing at all like Candace. Man, am I tired of Candace. Oh, wait a second, the phone's ringing. I'll be right with you. Hello?
Hello, darling. This is Alicia.
Oh, hello, dear.
Are you going up to the cabin today?
I'm just leaving, darling.
Oh, I wish I could go with you.
Well, I do too, but I'll be back in a day or so.
Couldn't I, please?
No, dear, no. You know it can't be done.
I wish it could.
Well, it isn't practicable, dear. I'll hurry back.
I could drive up tomorrow.
I'll probably be back tomorrow.
Oh, I'll miss you.
I'll miss you.
Oh, I just wanted to say goodbye.
I love you.
I love you.
See you in a day or so, honey.
But I wish I could go along.
It can't be done, sweetie.
Well, I might drive up and surprise you.
No, don't do that.
Goodbye.
Alicia, wait. Oh my gosh, she can't do that. If she does that... Hello, get me 24129. Well, so here I am. I wish I could have got Alicia back on that phone. If she comes up here, she'll... Oh, well, she won't. She's got better sense. Let me see what time it is. Well, let's see. revolver, silver bullet, the old Revolutionary War bayonet I had at Valley Forge, Bowie knife Dave Crockett gave me. Yeah, I'm pretty well fixed. Come on, Candace, honey. Come on. Yes, come on in. This time you can come ahead of time, baby, and Papa will be waiting for you. And then, Alicia. She's an owl or something. Wait, if she's an owl, I better get that shotgun out. Let's see. Well, Candace, look out! What the dickens was that? Oh, a moth? A moth, eh? Well, Candace. Here, the Saturday Evening Post. A light somewhere, darling, light. There. Oh, I missed her. You're not gonna get away this time, sweetheart. Get away from that lamp. Get away, I say. I got you. Oh, you're not dead yet? Well, I'll...
Never mind, Craig.
What?
Never mind. I'm going to die, all right.
Who's that?
It's too late, Craig. You've killed me. But haven't you forgotten something, darling?
What did I forget?
You forgot what I told you back there on the hill at Salem, sweetheart. You'll live just as long as I live. And when I die, you'll die.
Oh, my... Candace, let me help you.
It's too late, darling. Much too late.
Hello? Hello, this is the Forest Ranger Station. Oh, hello, Brad. This is Joe Thomas. Listen, Brad, you'd better call the county cops or somebody. Well, I don't know. Well, it's the little cabin halfway up Latigo Canyon. You know, the one with the red shutters? Yeah. Well, I was on my way up to the station, see, and I meet this girl. Hey, please, be quiet, will you, lady? This girl, and her car's busted down. Well, I picked her up, and she wants to come up here. Oh, well, what's your name, lady?
Alicia Denon.
Alicia Denon. So she's going to meet this fella here, she says. I lift her out, and I was just starting away, and I hear her scream. Scream, you know, holler. So I stopped, and I run inside, and she's yelling her head off. Lady, please. Yeah, I don't know, Brad. It sure looks awful strange. No, there wasn't no guy here, no. Nothing but a squashed moth. One of those big death's head moths, you know? And a skeleton. Yeah, a skeleton. All dried up and dusty, like it was maybe 250 years old. That's all. Just him and the moth. Funny, ain't it?
You've been listening to the Great Plains Radio Theater production of Don't Tell Me About Halloween, which was written by Wyllis Cooper. The performers were Benji Cotter as Craig. His wicked wife, Candace, was portrayed by Kathy Pfautsch. Delaine Krager was Alicia, and Morgan Konz was Gertrude. The Forest Ranger was Garie Lewis. Our Foley sound technician is Joshua Gall, and our theater audio technician is Benji Swain. I'm your announcer, Ralph Swain, and this is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us in this performance of the Great Plains Radio Theater Project. I'm your announcer for Great Plains Radio, Ralph Swain. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the radio.